Bun, ăsta e bun rău clipul. The Brazen Bull, worst punishment in human history.
Imagine waking up on an early sunny morning somewhere in Spain. You're going outside, but before you take a couple of steps, you're grabbed and taken to prison. Yeah, I forgot to tell you, it's the 17th century, and you said out loud at the market yesterday that the Earth revolves around the sun and not vice versa. There are several days of very ingenious tortures by the Spanish Inquisition ahead of you. And if you're lucky, a quick death at the stake. Tortures appeared along with our civilization. In every era, people have invented new ways to abuse and improved on the developments of the past. In this video, you'll find out what were the most unusual tortures in history. What's the danger?
Mi-a apărut și mie la recomandat ieri video, da, ce că e super tare. Mamă, ce e asta? What the fuck? L-au aruncat în bambus? Sau au crescut bambusul prin el, bă. Mamă, îți dai seama? Să te pună sub o cultură de bambus și să lasă bambusul să crească prin tine. Că bambusul crește foarte repede.
Who haunt your dreams? How were people tortured at the time of the Inquisition? And how to survive if you're being tortured? Imagine an iron sarcophagus covered with sharp spikes on the inside. A person is locked inside in a standing position, and they're slowly bleeding to death. That is the Iron Maiden.
Yes, Iron Maiden.
The medieval Inquisition.
Dar știi ce mă gândeam la chestii? Mă gândeam că, bă, ar fi ușor să supraviețuiești la un Iron Maiden din ăsta. Adică gândiți-vă puțin. Stați așa. Gândiți-vă puțin, da? Să stai drept, trebuie să stai numai drept și eventual te lași pe laterale. Te sprijini de laterale, că în laterale nu se țepi, mai mult în față și în spate. Și pe laterale nu prea se țepi. Tierile skin-urile pe Valorant. Nice.
Of course, you're refusing. Then the torturer opens the doors of the Iron Maiden and invites you in. What's going on with a person inside the sarcophagus? It's not a big deal at first. Spikes can damage the skin a little bit, that's all. But after spending half an hour in the same position, you'll want to move. In a few hours more, your legs will start to get tired, and your nose will most likely start to itch. After 20 hours in the Iron Maiden without food or water, you'll start losing consciousness from exhaustion and blood loss. But as soon as you pass out, you'll feel a sharp pain from dozens of spikes. It'll bring you to your senses, but not for long. You'll pass out and wake up from pain again and again and again. Are you ready to confess to heresy yet?
Mamă, dar
Take your time. Let's figure out what you have to do to survive in the Iron Maiden. Your goal is to stay conscious for as long as possible. Most often, the sarcophagus does not have spikes along the sides. Try to lean your hands carefully on the side walls. This will help to keep weight off your legs.
Pe stânga și pe dreapta, pe laterale. Uite, am băgat niște Valorant acum chill, înainte de culcare.
When you start to get sleepy from exhaustion, take a few quick breaths in and out. This will increase your heart rate and make you more alert. Avoid panic.
Pe ăsta doarme tata când se ceartă cu mama, nu-i așa?
And distract yourself from your tired legs.
Nice, Adere, o să fac, numai să-mi amintesc.
Today, historians believe that the Iron Maiden wasn't used for torture, but rather for intimidation. From the Inquisition's system's point of view, this instrument was too slow. A confession could have been pending for several days. Above all, in the Iron Maiden, you can't increase the intensity of pain when you need it. Although it does look pretty
WestJet,
spectacular in
nu.
a torture chamber. But torture was not invented
Ceeași
in the
persoană
Middle
care a făcut
Ages.
clipul despre
The
Dubai? Nu am
tortures
uitat
of
la
that
clipul despre
time were
Dubai. Cred că da,
inspired
nu.
by ancient China.
E Riddle
What
se
was
numește
torture
canalul.
like before the Inquisition? In the 200s BC, tickle torture was first used in China.
Tickle
It turned out
torture,
to be
man.
so effective that it lasted for over 2
Îți dai seama, frate, să fii un hoț, să fii un animal de om, frate, un killer, un om care e animal efectiv, să omoră o grămadă de oameni și să furi și să arzi sate și ăștia să te tortureze cu gâdilit. Tu îți dai seama, te-au făcut gâdilitul, frate, ești Jack Spintecătorul.
2,000 years. It has many variations, but the most
Ok,
popular one
Adele.
looks like
Baftă,
this.
baftă.
A person is tied to a table, and their heels are wetted with a salt solution. Then they let a goat come into the room. The animal starts licking the salt off your heels and just tickling you. For the first
Cel mai
couple of
căutat
minutes,
criminal din țară
it'll
și să
even
facă
be
asta,
kind of
tickle
fun.
torture. Da,
But
guys, sună un pic
imagine
așa.
that you're being tickled for an hour, then 2, then 3. On your foot, there are about 200,000 nerve endings. From their constant irritation, even a slight touch to the heel will cause a twitch, uncontrollable laughter, and a sharp pain. A way too long tickle torture can lead to a respiratory muscle spasm, and you'll literally suffocate to death with laughter. But how to survive
Jesus.
if you're being tortured with tickling? The first and most difficult thing to do is to let go of the sensations in your foot. While the goat is licking the salt off your heels, switch your consciousness to something else. Meditation can help with that. Take deep breaths in and slow breaths out. It's better to exhale when it gets unbearably ticklish or painful. Another unusual torture that nomads really loved was shiri. With its help, prisoners were turned
Hai de
into
capul meu.
obedient slaves. First, your head is shaved
Dai
until
un picior în
it's
cap la capro,
completely
îi dai
smooth.
bă, ro.
Then a fresh
E
piece of
legat de
camel
picioare,
skin
îți
is
dai seama, nu
taken
se
and
poate
put on
mișca.
like a hat. So far, it sounds disgusting, but still tolerable. The worst is yet to come. Your hands will be tied to a special stick structure that won't let you
Mama,
take
asta e
this hat
hardcore.
off. Then you'll be left for about 5 days in the middle of the desert. The camel skin, when exposed to the sun, will start to shrink and tighten on the skull.
Mama.
After a while, the hair on the head will begin to grow back, but it will not be able to get through the shiri and will grow in. How to survive this
Mama, să-ți
torture?
crească părul din cap invers. Să ai ingrown hair în cap, gen tot părul din cap să-ți crească invers, să-ți crească înăuntru. Ai de p***a mea, aia da tortură. Mă jur. Jesus.
Daytime temperatures in a desert can rise to 47 degrees Celsius. That's almost 117 Fahrenheit. So, the first thing to do is try and find some shade.
Salut, Florin.
After you hide from the sun, you'll need to get rid of the hat. And the only thing that will save you here is flexibility. You need to pull your head towards your knees and try to take the camel skin off. This could be done best until it starts drying out and shrinking. There's a chance of surviving the shiri torture. However, the nomads will still take you and the other survivors into slavery. But torturers did not always have to leave a person alive. It's time to tell you about the deadliest tortures in history.
Yeah.
For this purpose, let's go back to ancient China. But this time, not to the torture basement, but to the bamboo grove.
Care
You'll
mor
need some
bronzat.
ropes to hang a person
Bronzare-s bine
parallel
la
to the
mormântare.
ground and a knife to sharpen bamboo shoots. Bamboo grows very fast, up to
Ma,
1 meter
asta
per
e
day.
hardcore.
They just hang you over such a patch and wait a few days. And its stems are strong enough to pass through the human body. Bamboo will now haunt my dreams. Is it really possible to survive a bamboo torture?
Damn, bro.
You could take an example from David Blaine, the American illusionist. He knows how to pierce his shoulder without consequence. The needle
Fucking
passes
David
through the
Blaine,
arm
man.
without touching the muscle and veins and blood vessels. I don't
Ce
recommend
cool era
trying
David
this
Blaine
at
când
home,
eram eu
but
copil.
even Blaine could
Când
hardly have
aveam vreo
survived dozens
8-9
of
ani.
bamboo stems
Mamă, David
growing
Blaine
through
era
his body.
Dumnezeu printre
Only
oameni.
Indian yogis can do that.
Salut,
If you
haterul.
move and rotate your body a little bit so that the bamboo can pass through you at the required points and at the right angle, it will grow through you without hitting your vital organs. But don't think for a moment that this is the most painful torture. Remember when the Inquisition locked you up in the Iron Maiden? In ancient Rome, the copper bull was used instead. There's not much room inside, so you'll have to lie bent over. But the
Asta e
uncomfortable
hardcore,
position is
asta
the
e
last thing
fucking
you'll be
hardcore
thinking about.
să te bage într-un de ăsta și să te lase acolo cu foc de desubtul tău. Ai de pula mea, frate.
As soon as the door on the copper bull's belly closes, they'll start making a fire underneath it.
Mamă.
The only chance for salvation is to kick down the door and escape. But doing it in a narrow, overheated bull's belly won't be easy. It'll take years of training to thrust it down with your hand. It'll be more effective to keep kicking at the door with your feet. You're probably not the first person to be roasted in that bull, and the lock has been damaged before you. A few kicks and you're free. No documented cases of execution by growing bamboo or the copper bull torture have been found by scientists. They're probably just legends that were used to intimidate people.
Na,
But
nu
the
cred
next
că-s
torture
legends.
I'm going to tell you about is extensively described
Depinde
in
și
documents.
când.
For you to be sentenced to execution by elephants, it was enough just to be laid on your taxes. Execution elephants were trained not to kill a person immediately, but first to crush and rip off their arms and legs. In India, such executions were arranged as big spectacles. Do you think there's any way you can escape the giant legs of an animal weighing 4 tons? You can try to keep your arms and legs to your sides and roll on the ground, but there's a possibility that the elephant will step on you by accident. Or you could call your elephant and order it to crush the executioner, who gives orders to the killer elephant.
Exact.
But one more giant animal in the arena is unlikely to increase your chances of survival. Imagine what it would be like if tortures were still common in contemporary society. What would they look like? The way I see it, a person would be tied up and forced to sit facing a huge screen.
Și jucându-se
On
Fortnite.
the screen is showing, let's say, one of my
Aproape.
previous videos where I've made a mistake and indicated the wrong date.
Cea mai mare tortură, îl pui pe scaun, îl legi de scaun și îl pui să asculte Lino Golden.
The year was 1836. 1836. But the person's hands are tied, and they can't correct me in the comments. Then we can turn on the speech of a politician they hate, or show a video of the defeat of their favorite football team. There are so many reasons to leave a hateful comment, but the ropes are too strong. And yes, let's pay tribute to the traditions. A goat is walking around and occasionally licking the poor fellow's heels. Offer your ideas for modern tortures below this video. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel.